There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits, or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.
Welcome everybody to the GearBox Precision Call. Happy Friday. We have some exciting announcements for you next week. GearBox 2.0 and GearBox Pro launch on November 3rd. Make sure you've registered for the webinar. If you haven't registered for the webinar, make sure you register for the webinar. GearBox 2.0 and GearBox Pro are coming out. We are going to get into talking about them today and why we are so excited. So let's get right into it. You guys should be able to see this, and I'm not telling you that GearBox is going to go trade US 30. But I'm telling you that I am going to show you what is going on here. This is a part of GearBox 2.0. Ignore the fact it does not say 2.0 here. It will when you get it on the 3rd. This is my testing version of the new features. And this is a trailing stop loss. You see, this looks like these are all hitting stop loss, but it is taking these trades out in profit. And these are level 10 trades I'm taking on US 30. So I'm doing this to test the trailing stop loss feature. And to confirm that everything is very much intact in a live market, and it's been working incredible. I also have been testing this to make sure the trailing stop loss on all levels has been working on gold, and on gold on taking level 2 trades starting, we're up 2% on the week with very low starting lot exposure on a 10K account. So we're testing the trailing stop loss feature. This is a part of 2.0 that we think is going to massively increase profits for already existing users and decrease risk. The reason this is there's been many times, let's say you got into, let's use as an example here, you got into a buy and you were in profit, but your take profit was here. And now you end up in drawdown until it comes to here. Well, you could have gotten out of that trade before it fell and not had to wait till here to get out of it. So the point in adding the trailing stop loss feature on all levels is if you decrease your take profits from, a lot of people are using Ghost plus Real, if you decrease them to real trades only, what it'll do is instead of where the take profit would have taken you out, it'll begin trailing from that point on. And you'll have complete control of these trailing settings for how many pips you want to trail by, but essentially it will trail. So we're going to be changing the default setting to real trades only plus trailing on. So you guys are going to see this is going to change where we're going to make it to where the default settings and the GearBox manager and everything are going to be set to real trades take profit. So the reason for that again is going to be because with the trailing stop loss turned on by default, it's going to take you out of those trades in profit sooner and not risk getting into potential drawdown. It's going to secure the bag essentially and get you into the next trade. Instead of holding on for the full take profit, let's just get out and get profit. No point in going in drawdown, right? It's going to trade more like a manual trader would and less like an EA. So very exciting to see that trailing stop loss feature. So on a normal account, running what were our traditional settings. This is a swing mode account that's going around 0.01 per 1500, so it's being pretty conservative, right? Around that 0.06 starting lot. And this week, you can see on the 10K it did 1.26%, and it trailed all these trades out of profit on Euro USD, USD CAD, and USD CH. And this is on swing settings. So this is for GearBox 2.0, the trailing stop loss feature. Now, what does that trailing stop loss feature look like in the settings? Well, let's just take a look at it real quick. Trailing stop settings, enable trailing stop, yes, enable trailing stop for hedge trade. So this means that I'm trailing by 25 pips. Essentially, I know that if I'm using real trades only, that is 30 pips minimum take profit. So if I trail by 25, that means I'm securing at least 5 pips by the time I activate that. If the trade goes back and completely reverses, I'm still covering enough money to cover any commissions or fees the broker charged to open that trade with that. So real trades only is the new take profit that's going to secure the bag the soonest with enabling the trailing stop, because how it works is you will not see a take profit anymore. You will see a no take profit, and what would happen is where the take profit would have happened, it'll enable the trailing stop loss now. If you're using this feature, that is. If you turn this off, you'll still see a take profit. So that's trailing stop settings. Now you might be asking, what are the pro settings? So there's going to be more pro settings than just these two, but these are going to be the 2 starting pro settings. And my belief is, number 1 is restart gear range with first real trade. Well, you don't want to do this on swing settings, I can tell you that. But if you were on, say, super sniper settings, and you now have the trailing stop loss feature too, you may go, okay, I'm confident waiting for these really just precise entries. Whenever they do happen, now instead of, let's use as an example, like a GBP pair that moves a lot. Well, you might not have been entering until level 6, for example, on one of those pairs, and maybe after 7, after Wednesday, meaning that you're not even taking trades till 7 and 8, right? And by the time you hit 7 or 8 to enter the trade, right, you're already a few hundred pips before GearBox typically would deploy the next trade in the range. Well, this restarting gear range will restart it to where it'll take its first trade again at 21 pips after that. So it may have waited 500 pips, 600 pips to enter the first trade, and then after that it'll take another one at 21, another at 35 pips, and it'll stack a. Let's use this for an example. All right, let's just use a chart so I can give you a visual. You see where my cursor is? So let's say you were gonna enter buys and you waited a few hundred pips. You take a buy right here, and instead of it waiting until down here to take the next buy, imagine it took 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Stacked a few buys real quick right here, and then trailed all that profit. So when that thing reversed, you caught all of this with a bunch of stacked positions right near the bottom of the reversal zone. And that's a more advanced pro feature. That's why we call it pro. That's going to be for people who are more hands-on, know what they're doing. It's riskier, but it can also create very, very high profit. You know, and you just need to manage your risk. But that's going to be restart gear range with first real trade. The other setting adding that into the mix is close basket at max number of gears. So this is for somebody using that restart gear range with first real trade, knowing that you might have to modify your settings. Let's say, for example, you decide on something like this, 6 and 7, you want to enter level 8 and you want to restart it. Well, you know that you need to be going to like level 13, 14, 15 to stack those quick trades, but you may say, hey, if I get to my max level, just close out this whole sequence of trades on this pair. So this is almost like a per pair equity protector for pro users as well, not a global total account equity protector. This would be a setting that somebody could come in here and just say, hey, I want to close everything, and that's my risk that I was willing to take on that currency pair. Knowing you're scanning multiple pairs, maybe sometimes you're trading a riskier pair, whatever it may be. But overall, incredible results. Been testing it on things we've never really used it on before. And I mean, I'm not telling you to go use GearBox and US30. I choose to test things purely to make sure features are very functional, because otherwise testing the trailing stop loss feature can be boring. I only got 6 trades on normal data here, right, on Forex. So I go and I test other assets and things that move a little bit more to make sure that all the functions are intact when we're releasing updates. And I was very impressed just seeing I think there's something that could be done with US30 and many of these other volatile pairs now that we have the trailing stop loss feature. It's just finding those right settings and tweaks, and I'll continue to experiment on those, as I've always told people whenever I do feel confident in something, I'll bring it. But until then, everything's just data for me, and data that I do like to test live, as you can see. So but with that being said, stay tuned for the launch call, where we're going to go over all these details more in depth, as well as some exciting testimonies, and bring back a lot of that excitement, a lot of that energy that we need here with GearBox, because it is a consistent, stable product that has made money and will not go out there and wreck your whole account if you're using proper risk management, of course that is. So with that being said, that is the updates I have for all of you today. I hope you're all stoked that you were on this call live, and I look forward to getting out the latest versions and testing here for GearBox 2.0 and GearBox Pro that all of you can have in your hands this next week with our big launch that is coming down the line. But with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your days, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.